Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another Monday night live stream. Hello, everybody. Hope you had a lovely weekend. Hope your Monday is going well. Let me know what you're up to tonight. What's your plans? Are you doing a little bit of painting? Are you just kind of kicking back and relaxing tonight? We've got a bit of a packed show this evening, to be honest. Chat-wise, we're going to talk a little bit about, as you can see behind me on the thumbnail, a little bit about Curse City, the return of Curse City, and the fact that it's coming back as made to order initially. And what do we think about that? Is it a good thing, a bad thing, and the future of Cursed City? And as you can also see behind me as well, we have the February Fantasy February Painting Challenge. We have everybody's submissions, and there were quite a few. I've got 40 entries this month. I must admit, there's a lot. So we're going to have a bit of a whistle-stop tour through them tonight, I think. I've broken them down into like 4 little groups, so we'll look at like 10 at a time if you like. But yeah, there's some really, really awesome stuff. It's nice to see people submitting stuff. And obviously, I'll be telling you what the March challenge is as well. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you later. But first of all, let's have a little look, see who we've got in the chat tonight. We've got Ian's in, Lord Maiden was in nice and short. Hello to you, Ian. Hope you're well, buddy. Ortega saying he can't stay, but he'll see us in the catch-up. Hello, buddy. Marcus, he says, afternoon, my nerdy friends. Hello, Marcus. Blizzards is in as well. Cardos is saying he's painting some Saga Vikings tonight. Hello, buddy. Andrew Fairbanks is in. Peter Koeman's in. Rathammer Games says, I can't wait for this one. Curse City rant, please. I'm not sure I'm much of a ranter in general. I can sometimes get passionate, but I wouldn't say I was a ranter. And I've already got Curse City. I bought it when it first come out, so it doesn't really affect me personally. So maybe I've got less less of a dog in the fight when it comes to this one. We'll see when we get onto it. Christian Reeves, good evening, mate. How you doing? Tasty Brain Drains in as well. Hello to you. Rob Zunk, nice to see you and buddy. Ed's in. Zingbo's in. He said he's painting some Cypher Lords tonight while the stream's on. Good evening, Mr. Tony Howell as well. Nice to see you tonight. Yoakum's in as well. Starky's Man Cave. Tasty Brain Drain says, we've got movie sign. Is that what it is? Like it's the movie starting when you get the little intro. Kenneth Paulson, nice to see you as well, buddy. Jim Zorn, he says the Painting Challenge Showcase. Yeah, I must admit, like, I thought January's was quite popular, but I was surprised to see so many, because I did a bit of a trial this month, I'll be honest, because it was quite a short one this month. I didn't really share it in the Facebook group. I thought I'm just going to talk about it on the live streams and see how many people kind of enter. And I didn't really advertise it much on the Facebook group. And so I was quite surprised to see with it a lot more short notice and like less kind of sort of sharing of it, just how many people entered. So yeah, it's nice. That's nice to see, to be fair. Paul Inman, good evening to you, mate. How you doing? Ed said he's finally putting together his Curse City box. I put mine together pretty quickly. The day it delivered, I put it together. And I played it as well that day, and then I have never touched it since. Other than taking some pictures when I was going to sell it on eBay and then never got round to it. I inputted all of the information to list it to sell it, and then the website crashed, and then I lost all of the work I'd done. I was like, screw it, I'll do it another day, and never got round to it. Dan Kennedy, nice to see you, mate. He's looking forward to seeing what everyone's been up to. Where are we up to here while it's jumping around? Peter Stockdale, good evening to you. Wayne Hayward said he's got his Bolt Action British Airborne on the table tonight. Nice, man. Jez Hunt, good evening, sir. Paul says he's still on holiday in Venice. We'll probably download and catch it on the plane coming home. Ciao for now. Arrivederci, mate, as they say. Paul Taylor says, evening all. He's got the tea on. Dan says he's cracking on with some Horsemen tonight. Camo, good morning to you, mate. VJ, good morning to you as well. Voltmans is in. Says ciao. Ian saying I'm okay, thank you. How are you, DC? I'm not too bad, mate. I've been a busy bee last week, doing a lot of work. Like I've had a lot of editing work to do, so I've been kind of working it around. It was the school holidays last week as well, so my little boy was off for a week 2 weeks ago because he had chicken pox. Then he was off last week because it was half-term holidays. So I've been kind of doing my daddy duties during the day and then trying to work in the evening to do like my job stuff. And then I ended up working all weekend because my wife could look after the little lad so I could actually get some work done over the weekend as well. So it's been a busy one, mate. I got the work finished today, so now I've got everything ticked off. So yeah, I'm in a good mood, mate. It's nice to to tick off them jobs that need doing. Jimmy Newton, good evening to you, matey. Paul says, can you put an announcement in Facebook about the March challenge? I think I will do this time, mate. I did it intentionally last time just to see the level of, because there's a lot of people who come in the Facebook group and they just they come in and they drop a couple of pictures of stuff they've been painting on, and they don't really comment on the stuff. They don't really come in the live streams, that kind of stuff. And I wanted to see the mix of folks, but I think I will with this one. Luke says, how do everyone? Are we all doodling well? Voltman says, I am Golems on a table, and VJ says, Cursity proves that just having good minis isn't enough to carry a boring game. Yeah, to be honest, nice minis alone never does it for me, if I'm perfectly honest. So, but yeah, I know what you mean. I think if we'll come on to Curse City when we come on to Curse City, but I've got thoughts. Peter says he's painting the tracks on a Panzer one and is that a Hanomag right now. Jess says he even entered February challenge, and I never do that kind of thing. I'm really pleased you did, mate. I really like what you've done. We'll come to that soon. And Kath Smith, good evening, good morning. Everyone, she says as well. So good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everybody. I think what we'll do is, I think we're going to crack on. We're going to dive in because we've got a lot to get through tonight. So I'm going to dive straight in with the first lot. Let's come to here with the first lot of our painting challenge stuff. So we've got, like I say, we've got 40 entries. I've got them in alphabetical order. I've just taken 10, put them into a folder, and I'll do that like sort of 4 times through the night. So we'll do the first 10. We'll have a little bit of chat and stuff. We'll probably do the next 10. We'll talk Curse City, and we'll kind of do it like, I will break it up anyway, but we'll see how we're doing for time. So the first one is a certain Mr. Aaron Walker. And if anybody's given me any information, kind of any like sort of text and stuff, I've made note of that as well. So we'll see what it is. So I don't know what this model is. I don't know what it's for. Looking at the base, I'm assuming it's some kind of Wild West Exodus or Lost World Exodus with these little kind of the little sort of trophy base things. But I really like the work he's done. I love how kind of grim these kind of pestilating pus-filled bits look, lumpy bits look on here. And really nice kind of shading on the skin as well. And then we've got a bit of a close-up of this one. Lovely model. I'm not familiar with the model itself, but I really do like it. Nice work. Love the basin as well. Just kind of show off the basin there. I think sometimes, I mean, it's... please don't take this the wrong way when I say it's simple. It's simplistic in terms of it's not overly done, but I think adding the tufts and stuff and a little bit of dry brush and stuff really just kind of sets it off. I do like the basin, mate. Very nice. But yeah, the shading on the skin, excellent work, mate. Is that it? Is that 3 photos? Yeah. So that is the first one, Mr. Aaron Walker. Thank you very much, buddy. Next up is a certain Mr. Adam Edgar, Future Boy. And he's been doing his, did he have a, no, he didn't leave me a note. This is Kings of War Dwarves, looking very good. Again, basin, I'm always a fan of basin. We'll do a basin challenge at some point during the year. But I'm always a fan of basin. Love this kind of like lava basin here, carrying the treasure around as well. Not particularly familiar with these dwarves. I think they could be GW dwarves, although I'm not entirely sure. But with the little candles on top of the helmets there as well. But yeah, you can kind of see from above there, really does show that basin off. And anybody that's not familiar with Kings of War and that kind of multi-basin thing, it's one of the things I love about it, the fact you can build these little dioramas. But yeah, really nice choice of colours as well. The pale blue there really does kind of complement against the lava. Very nice work, buddy. Thank you very much for submitting that. Next up is Adam Woznitzer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Adam. And he gave me a bit of text here. He says, this is the entry for this month. Van Halfling and Norco, the Halfling Sorcerer from Heresy Miniatures, and he plans to use them in Frostgrave. And this is what he's painted. Very fantasy. Certainly no qualms in saying that. Those are fantasy miniatures, and they look very kind of Frostgrave as well. Love what you've done with the snow bases as well, buddy. Nice choice of colours. Blue and purple really does complement each other as well. So, good work. Thank you very much for completing the February challenge, mate. Next up, we've got Grim Alexander. And he sent me 2 lots of stuff. So the first one, he says, his first entry, some old school Warhammer Fantasy Battle Necromancer. Check out his asymmetric eyes. GW don't do models like this anymore. Yeah, it is very old school GW, isn't it? That kind of like that pose that they always used to do. Very nice, Nate. Yeah, like lots of, I'm assuming it's like an old metal miniature. Loads of detail in it though. Very nice. I thought those eyes are not bad, mate. I tell you what, mate, I've seen a lot worse than those eyes, that's for sure. Love the kind of shading as well on this skull as well. Gives a very kind of like a OSL, like a object source lighting effect to it. Very nice, mate. Very nice. And then for his second one that he sent me, because he was obviously excited, he said these were his 3rd and 4th entries. I don't know where the second one was. He said a swarm of mantic imps starting a barbecue party with Elf, and a swarm of ember sprites, barbecue party gone large. His favourite piece for this year. Very nice. Let's have a look at these then. Oh, I do like the flame effect on this, mate. Very, very nice. Good work there. Let me just realise it's a bit small on your screens. Zoom in there and see what he's doing. Nice work on the flame effects there as well, in the basin. And then we've got this one as well. I do like these mantic models, I must admit. I've got some abyssal stuff myself. Yeah, very nice, buddy. And then another shot there is from above. You can see the... Did it say a dead elf, or is the elf just asleep and they're all kind of coming to steal his wares? But yeah, it's got, again, Kings of War stuff. I like that, like kind of that basin that gives a little bit of a story as well. Nice work, mate. Thank you very much for that. Next up is me. Now, before I get to me, I failed the challenge. I'll be honest. I did intend to finish painting some stuff. Technically, I finished the challenge because I finished 1 miniature. But I was halfway through a lot of stuff that I wanted to get finished and I didn't. But I thought, in the spirit of showing progress, I would show you what I've been up to the last few weeks. So I'm busy painting my Rift Forged orcs for Kings of War, and as you can see here, I'm kind of doing them in batches of 5, if you like. So these are the 5 I've been painting, and the one at the front here was my test model. So I finished one as a test model to see how I was going to paint the rest of the army, and then the rest of them are all kind of like work in progress. So you can see the I forget what it's called now. The guy on the Manticore at the back there is all primed and ready to go. And then obviously I'm still kind of struggling to remember the names, but whatever he's called, Stormcaller or something like that, in the background, which is a bit of a work in progress. So like that green skin color is a bit bright. It won't be finished that bright when it's done. But that's, so if I zoom in on this guy, this is my little test model, kind of just show how the army will look. And then just that one, so you can see again. So I kind of, with the skin there, I think it's a contrast paint over the top of like pallid witch flesh to kind of to bring it up, and then I'm going to kind of like tone it back from there. But that was just after that was as far as I got with it, to be fair. So yeah, it's a work in progress. It'll be the start of my Rift Forge Orc army. My plan is to kind of finish my my Orc army and get it to an event this year. That's kind of what I'm planning to do. But yeah, I'm doing a pretty simple scheme, and the idea is that basically I've done a few test bits and pieces, and then I've been ploughing on them. But yeah, like I say, looking after the little one during the day, working on a night time. I haven't had the spare time I wanted in February, but I will continue obviously these in my spare time as well. So that was me. So yeah, I didn't technically. I did all right, but so now we've got Ayan Patel. So Ayan is it Samia's son? And he said his son just finished his submission for the February Fantasy Mini Challenge. His name is Ayan. He's 11 years old, and he painted up a unicorn from the Nulls' Marvelous Minis line. He said, I think this is his 3rd mini ever, and he was learning about a lot of techniques such as layering, washing, dry brushing, highlighting, and even blending. He used the glitter paint for the mane and the tail, and also learned about finishing his base with sand, static grass, and a tuft of flowers. And the final touch, the picture was also taken by Ian as well. So congratulations, Ian. I don't know if you're watching this. I'm sure if your dad's watching, he'll kind of let you know that we shouted this out. But he says, we both wanted to say thank you for this month's challenge. We had some amazing father-son time spent together working on individual projects and submissions, and we're looking forward to next month's challenge. That to me kind of summed up what this is all about. It's just about getting people to pick up a paintbrush and just do something. It doesn't matter what you're painting. It's just about kind of getting started, really. And this is what Ian did. This is his unicorn. You can really kind of see where he's been working on that basin there. You can see where he's starting to get the layering, the shading around the legs here and stuff, and under the muscle. Really does look good. And I'll be honest, if you said you'd been painting for a year or two, I wouldn't be surprised, mate. So to say this is your third ever miniature, mate, absolutely fantastic. So welcome to the BlackJack Legacy community. Thank you very much for taking part, and congratulations for completing your first challenge, buddy. And next up, we've got a certain Mr. Ben Mitchell. He said this is the first one as a main character from the Stuffed Fables board game, which is classed under children's fantasy. I've painted these for my daughter, but hopefully it'll be a bit of a different entry from GW and Mantic stuff. Always good to see a mix of stuff, mate. Thank you very much. So the second one is a VJ mini swap, which you will be revealing live on the stream. There you go, mate. Just thought it would be a bit of fun as it also falls under fantasy. It's a zombie snow troll from the D&D miniatures line, and the model is for VJ himself, so hopefully he's watching it. Well, he certainly was watching a minute ago, so we hope he is, and he says, thank you for all your hobby content. You are welcome, mate. So we'll start with the Stuffed Fable stuff. Those are beautiful, mate. They are absolutely awesome. Let me get in and zoom into these so people can see them. They are, I know how small these things are. They are super, super clean, mate. I love them. That pink is just so good. Love it, mate. Absolutely love it. Oh, yeah. And then here is his snow troll as well. So we get the back shot. I'll flick it around and we'll get the front shot. And this is one for VJ for the mini swap that we do. Anyway, doesn't know what the mini swap is VJ organises this in our Patreon group. Basically, everybody that wants to enter, all their names get drawn out at random. You get a partner, and essentially there is a theme for the month, and you paint a miniature and you send it to your partner, and they paint one and send one back to you. And we try to kind of pair people up in certain regions to keep postage costs down. But if you want to get involved in that, all you got to do is join the Patreon, come and join us in the Discord group. The Discord group is for Patreon members, and you can join in with the mini swaps as well in there. But this is awesome, mate. Really, really nice. Love what you've done here, and I'm sure VJ will be a fan of that as well, and I'm sure it'll hit the table when he's playing as well. So thank you again for entering, and thank you for completing it. Blizzards, he says he made the mistake of using crackle medium instead of chipping medium on the shields, but it still came out decent, I think. I've seen your pictures, mate, and it did come out decent. You've got nothing to worry about there. It looks really good on the shields there, mate. So these are Kings of War. These are undead balefire catapult, I think it is. Very nice. Love the shield work. And these are just kind of like skeletons, like loading up the catapult as well. Very nice, mate. I can see that's coming together very nice as part of the army. Love that. Yeah, that crackle paint stuff, mate, whatever you said you used, it came out absolutely great. No worries at all there, buddy. So yeah, thank you and well done for completing it. Camo, who we've got in the chat tonight as well. So this is a Necromunda. It's science fantasy. I'll give you this one, mate. It's his Orlok Wrecker. And this, here it is as well. Let me just, even on a Necromunda dice box as well. So there you go. I like this, mate. I'm a fan of these models. But yeah, very, very nice. Nice colour choices. I like the shading on the weapons and on the what's that on his belt, whether that be like an ammo pack or something like that. But yeah, I love the orange against the darker colours as well. Very, very nice work, buddy. Them bases are nice as well. Good work. Good work. And then last for this one, we've got Zingbo in as well, Chris. And Chris says, below are the photos are a CP Models Plague Doctor, a CP Models Hook Horror, and a Creature Caster Emperor Dragon, which was his main project for the month. It's about 9 inches tall. I look forward to seeing everyone else's entries on the stream. This is the Emperor Dragon. Wow, mate. Very nice. Love that detail on there. Looks really, really good. Love what you've done on the basin as well. I've got no idea whether that basin kind of comes with a miniature or not. It looks like there's some familiar kind of GW bits and pieces there. But I could be wrong on that. But it looks awesome, mate. Fantastic work. And now we can see it from the other side as well. Love the detail on the scales and stuff like that, mate. Really, really nicely done. And then we've also got, I forget what this one was now, but I love the character to it. There's just something very, very creepy about it. There's the Plague Doctor. That was the other one as well. And I've got no, in my head, this looks pretty small, but I'm not really sure how big it is in reality. But yeah, I love the bits of blood as well around the ball and chain. Very, very nice, mate. Good use of shading on there as well. So that is our first group. So some awesome work there for the first batch. Let's have a quick look in the chat and see what folks are talking about here. Let me go back here. Where are we up to? Everyone's having a bit of chat and stuff like that. Oh, VG says, you forgot to include some text for the submission, but I'm sure you know by now the converted Basilean ships are these pirates. I do know, mate. We'll come to your stuff, mate. Do not worry about that. Yeah, Austin saying it looks like GW Dwarf Miners. I thought they were the GW ones. Tony Booth-Leiden, hello to you, mate. How are you doing? He says, he forgot to send in his February challenge. Going to plough on with painting more Cruel Boy models or while listening along tonight. If you can email it across to me, mate, I'll try and squeeze it in. Kath says, Andy got his BlackJack Legacy shirt. Looks good. Glad you're happy with it. Nice one. Let me have a little look down. Everybody chatting about the different bits and pieces. Samia, nice to see you in, mate. I wasn't sure if you saw it. Michael Cowan, good evening to you as well. Who else are we up to? Fiji says, fail your own challenge. Classic Andy. I technically finished a fantasy miniature. That was what the challenge was. So I didn't technically fail it. I just didn't paint as much as I planned to. He says, you mean you didn't stop a project to do a challenge? I had to make sure I finished the work, mate. The work I was doing is some paid work I'm doing for someone. And unfortunately, I need to pay the bills, to pay the electric bills, and keep the lights on, and keep food on the table, and keep a roof over my head. So I'm having to take on some extra kind of paid work as well to kind of make sure it all comes together. So yes, unfortunately, that took precedence over painting my miniatures. Let's have a little look here. Paul says, didn't you finish on the last day last month? I did, mate, to be honest. I did. I kind of slid across the line as well last time. I'm hoping that this next month, I'm setting the challenge. I know in advance what it is. And we've got a full month, because I'm going to tell you today what it'll be. Then you've got a full month. You've got like almost 5 weeks to paint for March. So yeah, hopefully I'll make this one. Christian saying the Rift Road will look great. Thank you very much, mate. Matthew saying he's all in as well. Dan saying he likes how they're going to be done. And thank you, mate. Yeah, hopefully I've got some kind of basin ideas as well. So hopefully it'll all come together on the basin. The idea, one thing what I'm going to look at as well is do some kind of Kings of War sort of content. And one of the things I want to show is when you're painting a Kings of War army, it's not about painting the individual miniatures to the best of your ability. There's so much gets covered up by the fact they're ranked in together and you've got like base and stuff. And I want to kind of show that the way a model looks as an individual model isn't how it will look when they're all on a base together. And so there's some shortcuts you can take. And that's why they might not look the best when you see them like that, kind of uncorked, getting painted. But they'll look fine when they're all done. Christian sharing the link for support the channel from the Patreon. Thank you very much, mate. $2 a month gets you into that painting challenge, into that Patreon, sorry, and gets you into the Discord and gets you into the mini swaps and all that kind of good stuff. Samir says he'll be watching after he gets back from school. Thank you very much, Samir. Tell him thank you from me for entering as well. Let me just skip ahead a bit. Well, Ian saying the unicorn looks stunning. Does he do commissions? Rob, nice to see you, mate. How are you doing? Yeah, Jez is saying pretty damn good. Better than my third mini. It's better than my 100th mini, I think, mate, to be fair. Christian saying loves the unicorn's hair. VG says those Fable characters, how fun. They're awesome miniatures, mate, aren't they? Yeah. Jez is saying Snow Troll and Stuffed Dudes are great. Yeah, they absolutely were. Skipping down through some of these. Sweet Catapult. Rob says challenge squad of 5 fantasy orcs. Well, I painted 5 personally because I was painting them in batches of 5. So like I paint all the silver, then I paint all the blue, and then I do a wash, and so I do them in like little batches of 5. That was all. And John saying good day from South Ontario. Nice to see you, mate. He says still freezing. It's been freezing here today as well, mate. To be fair, it's been absolutely brassic. So how we're doing, I tell you what we'll do, we'll crack on because we're 25 minutes into the stream. I think what we'll do is we will crack on with the next batch. So if I click the right buttons and we'll come to here, we might as well crack on and do the next batch. Then we'll talk Curse City stuff as well. So who have we got now? We've got Christian Sabine. And Christian didn't let me know what these are, but I think we can all see that this is one of the GW Skaven. And I forget, is this model, I forget if this model is from Underworld or if it was from the Island of Blood set. I think I might have this somewhere. I could be completely wrong though, but it's certainly a Skaven mini anyway. But yeah, love the rat skin on that as well, mate. The flesh colours, if you like, look absolutely brilliant. Really do like that. And here you can see in the back as well with the banner and stuff. The flames look great. And yeah, all looking good, mate. Love the detail. Let me just see if I can zoom in a little bit more onto the tail there. I love the kind of detail that we've got onto the tail here as well, with like the little kind of the little ridges across it and stuff. Awesome work, mate. Thank you very much, Christian. We've got Colin Beale. Good evening, Colin. And he said, this is Death from Terry Pratchett's Discworld with the Death of Rats. And here is Death himself. Love that, mate. Nice base there as well. And I'm not sure if it's the lighting or if it's the shading on the model, but I love the way that it's like, it's not just like a flat black. It looks really cool, mate. Very nicely done. Love the kind of like the bits of blue as well to the skull on the face there. Nice work. And yeah, we can see. Oh, and is that the little death rat there as well, hiding at the bottom? I'm not that familiar with Terry Pratchett stuff. I mean, I know what it is, but I've never read any of it. But I must admit that's pretty cool, mate. Nice work, buddy. Dan Kennedy, the man himself, said, here's his pictures for this month's challenge. He managed to finish 2 regiments. You're showing off now, mate, aren't you? 2 regiments of mounted sons to start a Varangurt army. Very nice. Yeah, you just put me to shame now, mate, aren't you? So yes, these are looking nice, mate. I'm not familiar with the models, so if you can tell us in the chat where they're from, mate. They are really nice though. I like those. Nice on them. I can see them better from the side there as well. Love the weapons on them as well. They're great. Basing, awesome, mate. Again, as I mentioned before, sometimes like it looks realistic by using stones and gravel and sand and bits of tufts and things like that, because that's like it is what it is, if you like. It's not, you're not trying to pretend it's something else. So I love when you have your bases like that, mate. Really nice. The skins look great as well. Really, really nice work. Love them. The red and silver really does go together as well. I love that. Nice work, buddy. I love it. Mr. Ian Pennells, Lord Maiden there, he says the 4 heroes are the advanced hero quest heroes that Mr. Latham kindly gave to me. Well done, mate. Thank you very much for sharing. He says the Discworld model was fun to paint, and all 4 that I have painted have been some great sculpts. This one just needs a 50mm base. So I'm assuming this must be the Discworld miniature. And it says what is that? Oh, I don't know if I can't, my eyes are that says something born to live, is that? Ian might be able to tell me. I need my glasses on. Really, it might be born to ride. You can see it better a little bit from, let me go to this model there. You can see what it is now. Like the skeleton, I forgot which one it was, mate. The skeleton on the kind of skeleton motorbike as well. It looks awesome, mate. Let's see if I can work out what that says. Is it born to die, maybe? Dive? I cannot, mate. I'm sure you're all talking about it in the chat there, but awesome, mate. I love that. Nice base as well. And these are the Advanced Hero Quest stuff as well, aren't they? I'll have a look at those. Nice choice of colours, mate. That's very GW, that, isn't it? It's very kind of Empire. I don't think I've seen the Advanced Hero Quest stuff. But yeah, love the elf, the wizard, and the dwarf there as well. Nice choice of colours, mate. Love the basing that you've been doing as well. There's some amazing work there, mate. But I must admit, I love the character on that. I'll have to look into some of these Discworld miniatures. I do like them. Nice work, mate. Well done. James Zorm. No text with this one. I think He said this is part of the. Oh, he did say something in the email, and I think I forgot to cut it down. That I think he's intending to do kind of like more of these kind of GW vampires. But that red looks awesome, mate. Love that kind of crispness of that there, like sort of like fallen statue on there as well. The little bits of sort of terrain around the background as well, just setting it off. Skin tones look great. Hair, with like the kind of white hair is always a bit of a funny on to do, but it looks great, mate. Really, really like that. Lovely miniature, really well painted. Thank you, mate, for submitting that. We've got Jamie Snow, and Jamie said, hey Andy, this month I've managed to do, is it Maritz, I think it is, from Super Fantasy Brawl. A good chunk of Familia Warband for generic fantasy game use, and continued working on a second copy of Silver Tower Minis. Unfortunately, I'm undecided on basing for both the Familia and the Super Fantasy Brawl Mini, so bases will be done at the end of the project. I do that, mate. I tend to leave the bases till the end so that I'll batch paint the bases, and that way they all look the same rather than painting them individually with each miniature. So yeah, don't sweat that one, mate. But yeah, this is a great sculpt. I love this miniature. I've got these Super Fantasy Brawl Minis as well, and they look fantastic. But love the colours, mate. Love the eyes standing out there as well. Brilliant work on the bones and the cape and stuff as well. Nice, man. These are the Familias. Is that how you pronounce it? Familia? Firma? But yeah, looking good as well, mate. Like you say, the basing to be finished off later, but love the shading on the skin, like the skin tones and the muscle tone to get the shading in there as well. Looks lovely. The gold's really looking good as well. Yeah, some awesome models. I mean, I don't know how old these miniatures are, but there's a lot of character to these as well, isn't there? And the flame work on them, mate, looking absolutely great as well. Looks awesome. Well done, mate. Another fantastic entry. Jez Hunt, the man who never gets anything done, but he did today. Says he gave me the excuse I needed to paint this chunky chap I got in a Kickstarter because I've been focusing on Stargrave. This is Muthboner, a foul troll that I got as part of the Beowulf Age of Heroes RPG Kickstarter by Handiwork Games. As you can hopefully tell from the pics, he's a big gnarly lad whose hide is too tough for normal weapons to pierce. Nice metal figure, others in the set are various human heroes. The background pic is an art postcard by the awesome artist and games writer of Beowulf, John Hodgson. I figure a monster mini from a game based on the oldest fantasy story in English was canny fantasy. I'd agree, mate, as well. And it looks amazing. I really love it. Love the kind of the blood splatter down there as well. The background really sets it off as well, mate. Just grounds it in a bit of a story there. Love the shading on the skin tones as well. Let's get some more shots of it as well. Love how this is just kind of running off the hand as well, all over the rocks. Looks brilliant. Looks like he's been in a bit of trouble there as well. Like you say, I think that hide's pretty tough there. A few axes in his back and stuff. A little rock behind him as well. I don't know if the rock came as part of the base or if you did the basing yourself, mate, but either way, it really complements it. It looks fantastic. But yeah, I just love that. They kind of, whatever it's propped upon with the little card behind it as well, it just looks brilliant, mate. Great work. And there it is, Beowulf Age of Heroes. Really, really nice work, mate. Well done. Congrats on taking part in the challenge as well and completing it this month. And then we have Yorkham. Now, Yorkham sent me a lot of pictures, and he said just kind of use which ones you want to use. I've put all the pictures in because not only has he been painting some really nice stuff, he's also been trying to kind of be a bit more arty with the photos and trying different things as well. And I thought I'd show them off because it just shows what you can do as well by trying some different things. It's not always just about painting the minis. Sometimes it's about setting them in the right setting and kind of, you know, like trying to improve on your photography as well. Now these are the GW minis. I think these ones are Night Haunts, I think they are. But yeah, looking really good, mate. I love the kind of setting. It really the lighting and the camera angle really sets them off as well. I love that with the flames in the background as well. Really, really good, mate. Love what you've been doing here. A few different kind of like sort of different exposures or whatever, trying different things. Nice. Excuse me, I just get a drink there. Nice little crop shot there, getting in nice and close as well. Love how, oops, skipping ahead there. Love how these look. And then almost kind of reversing it with a white background as well, and really kind of making them almost kind of ethereal and ghostly in that respect. Looking great, mate. A little bit of kind of soft focus. Beautifully painted as well. Really nice and neat. Love the transitions from the kind of darker blues on the top all the way down to the kind of the light greys and whites at the bottom. Really, really nicely done, buddy. Just showing them off there from the different angles. But yeah, fantastic work, mate. And again, congrats on completing this month's challenge, and thank you for taking part. We have Mr. John Binham. And John said this is a Mace Mini for Vanguard and some Lord of the Rings Warg Riders. He says this is, and the Witch is a Victrix Mini as a test for a potential new Kings of War army. So let's just zoom into this one, get into there as well. Again, basing, love a bit of basing. Nice shading as well on the fur and stuff. Skin tone looks great on here. Nice work, man. Here you can see with another one there as well. Details on the teeth as well. It's even just like little things on the teeth there. Let me get in close there, where you've kind of got like the red around the gums and stuff at the top as well. It's amazing the difference that makes, just kind of setting off. Get like a little red wash or something like that and just kind of run it around the tops of the teeth. It's amazing the difference that kind of makes. So yeah, skin tones as well. I love them green skin tones. The colours on this are fantastic, really do stand out. I love that kind of really kind of warpstone green and the purple together as well. Looks fantastic, mate. And here we got, I forget which one this was now, but it might have been a Lord of the Rings mini, was it? Also a Mace mini. But is this the one that's part of the new Kings of War army? That was it, wasn't it? Yeah, looking good, man. Congratulations and well done. And then Mr. John Estel, who I don't think's in the chat yet. I think he's playing a game or something tonight, or he's doing something. If he's he'll pop in later on, so you can all pat him on the back for his minis and stuff. But he said he's got some halflings here and 2 magicians for his Order of the Green Lady. So these are the halflings he's been working on. Let me just get in a little bit closer so you can see them there as well. Now I've got some halflings to do as well. I love these minis. And I've just bought all of the MDF bases to kind of ready to kind of get everything set up and stuff. So I'll be making a bit of progress on my halflings and my Riftforge orcs. And hopefully at some point we'll get them on the channel and kind of maybe like a small point kind of battle or something like that as well. But I love the green choice, mate. Nice work on the eyes as well. Really kind of sets them off. Yeah, really, really nice, mate. Love what you're doing here. Beautiful work. And then he's also got this one as well. Now, I've got this mini that I've built and not painted yet, but I must admit I'm a fan of the model. I must admit it is really, really nice. But it looks awesome, mate. Love the basing that you're doing on them. Love the nice clean paint job on it. The green really stands out as well against the golden brown. Awesome work, mate. So yeah, that is Mr. John Estel as well. So we're now halfway through everybody's stuff, and it's like 20 to 10 now. So yeah, we're halfway through already. Let's have a look in the chat, see what folks have been saying about those ones. Is there anything that's kind of tagged me and kind of so I can see there as well. Those are older ones. Underworld Crimson Court, that's the ones, Marcus. Thank you very much, mate. Christian saying, loving all these minis so far. Discworld stuff has so much character. Absolutely does, mate, doesn't it? John saying the original Marauder Horseman box of 5 had 17 heads to choose from. Wow. Andy Smith bought a Battletech starter today. Nice one, mate. Congrats on the new toys. Dan saying, love the Marauder model. One of the only ones I've gotten painted. Yeah, I think I got halfway through it for some reason and then got sidetracked and did something else. Not like me at all. Yeah, Jess is saying those for me are great. Who made them, if you don't mind asking? And somebody says, Samia saying there, yeah, those old GW sculpts. Tony Boulight says, I've emailed a couple of pics over. Wow, this group is smashing these minis out the park. Love seeing them. We'll get you. I'll make sure I add your minis in, mate, at some point. I might have to do some kind of jiggery pokery and open my emails and do stuff, but we'll make sure we get them in. So yeah, don't let me forget. Christian saying the model reminds me of Hairless Evil Ludo from the Labyrinth. Yeah, I know exactly which one you mean, mate. Samir saying the blood effects are sharp. Yeah, they definitely were. I think we're talking about Jez's miniature here. Everyone's saying amazing work there as well. Love the atmosphere and the photos for Yoakum. Photography is tough. Photography is tough, and it's nice to kind of just play around with it really and set it off. Somebody said, missed the first couple of minutes. Did Andy see how many submissions were sent in? There was 40 this month, mate. 40 submissions. Yeah, and Ian saying there, yeah, 40 entries, 4 batches of 10. We're going through them in. Yeah. Christian says, came to say hello. I see you in a couple of days. Hope you're all doing well and enjoy the stream. Thank you, Christian, and thank you for submitting your picture as well earlier on. Jess is saying they're awesome halflings as well, yeah. And Luke's saying everyone's doing amazing work. It's great to see people getting stuck in and just getting a little bit of painting done. It's never been about how good you paint or how much you paint or how often you paint. It's just about kind of just getting involved, really, and just having a bit of fun and trying something out. And hopefully March's challenge, I've tried to kind of keep it specific but wide. So we'll see. I'll tell you what March's challenge is later on, but hopefully you enjoy that one as well. Kenneth saying, yeah, great work by everyone. Phil's in more lovely work. Well done all. Hello, Phil, by the way. Matthew saying, yeah, subs are great so far. Voltman says, Blood Moon Minis that are the for me. That's where they're from, mate. Thank you. Christian saying, don't forget to hit that like button. Please do, folks. I can't see from here. What we got? We got 27 likes. Is that all we've got? You lot are hard taskmasters, that's for sure. Hard taskmasters. Right, I'm just gonna keep rambling while I'm diving into my emails here in the background so I can get John's email out and add it to my list. So let me go in here. Tony's, sorry, not John's. New folder. Tony Booth. Leiden. So yeah, talk amongst yourself, folks. I'm making sure I get it in. Here we go. And we'll pop it in there. Oh, I'm looking forward to showing that one off, mate. That looks awesome. I'm glad you still emailed. I want to make sure you get them in, mate. I do appreciate the I think you might have been my first ever Patreon as well, so I always appreciate your support, mate. So even getting your picture in a little bit later, I'll cut you some slack on that one. Andrew says, specific but wide. Sounds like my wife. John says, I've been building Star Blazers spaceship kits to what was that one? To at least do something the last week or so. Now I've got 3 more models to paint. Martin says, I'm easy to please, Taskmaster. Just give me bacon. Nothing wrong with a bit of bacon, mate, is there? Right, so what we'll do is we will dive in now and we'll have a little chat about Cursed City. So, if I can remember the right button to press. Oh, he's on a roll this week, folks. He's on a roll. So, if you haven't seen the news, Cursed City returns this March, made to order, as you can see. Other side, made to order. That's what I was talking about. Made to order for 2 weeks. Now, we'll get into the nitty gritty of this and why I want to kind of talk about this. So, for those that kind of don't know, Cursed City, let me just go to this one a second while so I can get my head a bit bigger because, you know, I'm a bit of an ego. Cursed City was a game that came out last year. It was almost kind of sold out and done, and then GW almost just kind of went radio silent and they never talked about it again. It was as if it never happened, and a lot of people were upset that they missed out on it. They recently announced it was going to be coming back, but didn't really give any details. Here we are now talking about this one, so because they announced it. So it says everyone thought it was dead. I think we all thought it was dead because GW didn't give us any information, but you can't keep a good game down. A good game, that's a matter of opinion. Warhammer Quest Cursed City is back, and you'll be gearing up to take down Radaka the Wolf and his undead cronies a lot sooner than you think. Okay, let's get to that bit. It says, in fact, you'll be able to order the full game on a made-to-order basis from Saturday the 5th of March. That's this weekend, folks. And there'll be a 2-week window to place your orders. And this time, stock won't run out. Everyone who orders a copy during those 2 weeks is guaranteed to get one. So you'll have to pre-order it, you'll have to pay for it, and you'll have 2-week window to pre-order it. However, they don't ship for a little while. It tells you some information about what's in it. think everyone knows what's in the box, so we will not go into those details. But if you do want to check this out, if you're not familiar with it, this is all on the Warhammer community page. Just saying that you don't need to be an existing fan to play. It's got its own self-contained rules, and Curse City is a perfect tabletop experience for up to 4 players. And it also says that if you're a Soulblight Gravelords enthusiast, if you play Age of Sigmar, the undead residents of Ulfenkharn will provide you with the core of an army as well in the box. So there's a multiple uses for the minis inside. Now it says the re-release of Curse City will be made to order. Just for completeness sake, what does that mean is you order it in the next 2 weeks, a 2 weeks pre-order window, and then they find out how many they need to make, and then they go away and they make all of the orders that everybody has placed, and then so they guarantee that if you put your pre-order in, you will get a copy. And it's saying that sales will be open for 2 weeks from the 5th of March to the 20th of March, and every order placed in this time frame will be fulfilled, and the game will cost the same as it did on the first launch day. That, I think, is quite key, and we'll come on to why that's key in a minute. Most folks should receive their copy by May, though the wait may be a little longer for certain regions. So you pre-order in March, you'll get your copy sometime in May, or from May onwards for certain regions. So it's a little bit like a mini Kickstarter. It's a bit like a pre-order type thing. That's one of the things I kind of want to talk about a little bit as well. Why are they doing it like this? Why isn't it just going back into production, and why aren't they just going to start selling it on the shelf again? I'm not sure yet. And it says, don't think you'll be able to grab your copy this March. So for example, if you've got some bills to pay, you haven't got the spare cash. I think it was £125. If you haven't got the money to spend on it in March, what's your options? Are you going to miss out? Well, it says there's no need to worry. Curse City will be receiving a full relaunch later this year, along with some juicy new expansions. Note the plural, expansions. Whether you pick up the box now or take your time and prepare for Ulfenkharn's salvation, there are many more creepy quests and frightful foes waiting in the game's future. Will you be playing Curse City this spring? Choose your heroes and let us know your favourites. So, this is the bit that's kind of a bit weird. One, why are they doing a 2 week pre-order window, or with a kind of like, and then shipping them in May, when it is coming back again later in the year? Why are they making a big deal about it costing the same as it did before, and then suggesting when it comes back later this year, maybe it's not going to cost the same again? So that's almost, there's a little bit of, it might be, it's just the way it's worded, it might not be completely right. Maybe it is going to be the same price. I'd assume with everything else going up in price, when it comes back later in the year, it's quite potentially going to be different. It's talking about a relaunch of Curse City later on in the year. Is the core box going to be something slightly different? Are they going to put more stuff in it that's going to justify that sort of higher price? Is it going to come with an expansion included? How many expansions are we going to get? It says expansions, which suggests at least 2. There's a lot of questions in that. Now, I'm not really sure why they're doing this kind of made-to-order 2 week window, making a batch of them, and then relaunching it later in the year. That's the bit that's kind of got me a bit like, it feels like there's more information here than we're being given at this point, and that's what makes me feel a little bit like, oh, it's a bit weird. Let's have a look and see what folks are talking about, because I think it's quite interesting. I want to see if any of you what your thoughts are about it as well. Andrew says, my hope for expansions is gone now. Well, expansions are coming, mate. So there we go. Luke says, I sold mine at the right time and made a nice profit on a bloody dull game. Pretty but dull. Yeah, I kind of, like I said before, mate, I did mean to sell mine and never got round to it. I've still got the novel as well with the extra card in it and stuff. So John says, cool, but I'm more enthusiastic for a Space Hulk reissue. I think there's a bit of an air of Space Hulk about this, because I'm sure what happened was that there was a release of Space Hulk that came out, and then it was reissued again, but there was more in it, or there was something different in it, and the people that bought the first one were a bit peeved about it. Andy Smith says, serious question, Curse City or Gloomhaven? I've not played Gloomhaven, mate, to say that you would be better off buying that, but from my personal experience of Curse City, unless you really want the miniatures, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for the gameplay. Paul says, I was looking forward to it. Is it really that dull? It's horses for courses, mate. Everybody likes different stuff. This is just, I really wanted to like this, and I didn't really enjoy it, but that's just my personal taste. It's maybe just not my kind of game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying it's not the kind of game that I enjoy, really. That's all. Marcus says, I think it will be fine made to order. Phil says, maybe a bit controversial, but I'm quite looking forward to expansions later in the year. For me personally, I've not really played it enough to warrant spending any more money on it. So the expansions for me are, unless there's some really awesome miniatures and unless it really changes the gameplay experience, I'll be waiting with with trepidation to find out a bit more about it. But I wouldn't say I was going to be putting money aside for it a little bit. Christian sharing the link there as well to get some merch like hats and book bags and zipped hoodies and dice bags and all that kind of stuff. Thank you very much, mate. Luke says, perfect tabletop experience might be the most arrogant and also false statement GW could make. Hope Live says, GW come across very generous, don't they? Thank you, GW. I'll give it a miss. I'm not really here to bash GW. I think it's good that it's coming back. I think it's good that people still want it and they are making it available to more people. That's never a bad thing. It doesn't matter whether I like it or not. It doesn't matter what other people think of it. If it's something you're interested in and you didn't get a chance to get it before, and you don't like the idea of paying over the odds for kind of like sort of limited release stuff, you'll be able to get it at cost price, and you'll definitely be able to have one if you want one. It's that weird thing about why are they bringing it back as made to order now and then relaunching it again later in the year. That to me tells me that there's either something different between them, and the way they're talking about the prices as if we're keeping it the same price now, we might not in the future. That's the inference that I'm getting from that. And if the price changes, I feel like the box will change in order to justify the price change. And that's when it gets a bit like, so what are you including that you didn't get originally? John says, wicked looking models for sure, but to be honest, I can't justify the cost considering how slowly I build and paint. As we talked about last week as well, mind, you don't have to paint your miniatures. It is a board game. If you're not going to use them in an Age of Sigmar army and you're not taking them to tournaments and all that kind of stuff, you don't have to paint them. The heroes come in one colour plastic. The enemies and the other bad guys, if you like, come in a different colour plastic. It plays absolutely fine out of the box in that regard. They are push fit models. You don't have to kind of glue them together. So there's like, don't feel pressured to kind of paint and stuff. If it's a game you want to play, if you want to play it for the game and experience, then by all means don't worry about kind of painting your models and stuff. But if you're buying it because you like the models and you want to paint them, that's a different thing. Jez is saying, great minis. I take it they'll release it again later for bigger cash. Yeah, it feels like it won't be a like for like though. That's the thing that's got me thinking about. Marcus is saying, honest, made to order on larger box like this makes a little more sense. When you're a company the size of Games Workshop, I don't understand why you would do it made to order in that respect. Because otherwise, why wouldn't they do everything made to order? If they were going to go down that path, can you imagine every time there was a Warhammer 40k box came out, you know, with the two different armies in, every time there was an Age of Sigmar box, every time there was a new starter set comes out and they just said, oh, you've got a 2-week window to order it, we'll be sending it to you in 3 months time or something like that. Like you're almost getting into that like mini Kickstarter, that like kind of the pre-order stuff. I'm always a bit weird about that stuff. Frantic says, because they're keeping the same price though, the 2-week window, when it comes back, it'll probably have a price hike. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, mate, as well. What was that one? Jez is saying kind of Kickstarter. I was just saying the same thing. Andrew saying, means if you were hoping for a new 40k Warhammer Quest this October, you ain't getting it for a year. Yeah, I think what we'll be seeing, mate, if it's going to be October time, which would make sense, I think we'll be seeing the expansions coming out at the same time. Colton, hello mate. He says, if they had to guess why they're doing this 2-week pre-order to help with the supply when they come back out later this year, which should alleviate the mad dash to get a copy if they did it at once. The thing is, though, there doesn't need to be a mad dash. I mean, this could just be a game that sits on a shelf and sells. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's made to kind of limited numbers. I would suggest it's something that I think there's definitely an element of fear of missing out. I want it now. I don't want to wait till October, kind of thing. And that's why this kind of stuff works, doesn't it? Samir said he's torn on picking up Curse City. I wonder if the pre-order is at last year's price. It is at last year's price, mate. Yeah, that's been confirmed. Barry, nice to see you, mate. He says they're doing a relaunch now so they know how many expansions to make. I thought about that as well, mate, so they could kind of get an idea. Maybe it's to get more. I'm wondering if it is to get more original copies in people's hands. So let's just pick some numbers out of thin air. Let's say they sold 20,000 copies last time and they're going to sell another 20,000 copies at pre-order now. That means there's 40,000 people out there who now have the base game and have been playing it and are ready for an expansion, which means they'll sell more expansions later in the year, as opposed to just relaunching the whole thing and only 20,000 people have been playing it and are ready for expansion. The other people are not kind of ready for it. I wonder if there is something in that. Marcus says, among other things, I believe whoever writes these Warhammer community posts is just bad at grammar. John says, really good points there, Andy. Hadn't thought about that. I'm not sure which points you mean, mate, but thank you. Ian H, nice to see you, mate. He says that there are either a lot of questions or people are reading too much into it. It is GW, safe to say you can assume focus will be margins even in the long game. Of course, it's about money, mate. They're a business. We all know that. It's all about money. It's just kind of, it's weird. It's whenever they do one of these announcements, I think we've all kind of learned over time is that there's as much information in what they don't say as there is in what they do say. So the fact they're saying it's the same, we're keeping it the same price. We're guaranteeing that this pre-order will be the same price as the old one, almost suggests that they're saying that in the future it won't be, because they didn't even have to mention the price. They never talk about the price when it comes to pre-orders. It's just it comes with a pre-order and then everybody sees the price and then you choose to do it or not. They could have not mentioned the price at all, and when it goes up for pre-order on Saturday, everyone goes, oh, it's the same price. So I've kind of learned over time that there's elements of reading between the lines. I think you're right. I think sometimes people read too much into it, but I think in this case, I think it's kind of justified, to be honest. Samir says 2009 Space Hulk was supposed to be limited. There's been 2, maybe 3 more since then as well. And I think somebody else, yeah, Voltmans was saying Space Hulk 4th edition had extra mission and extra board tile. That was what I remember happening. Austin says he may be using the pre-order window as a way to gauge interest. I think what they're trying to do is, I think they're probably trying to keep the fires alive, if you like, hype it back up again a little bit, ready for when the expansions come later on down the line. Because I think if they wait another year, I think people will have moved on. And I think also if they wait until October, for example, people will be saying, well, you could have had a new Warhammer quest now. Like, why have we waited all this time for you just to re-release the same game again? So I think there's an element of just keeping the pan boiling, if you like, there a bit. Peter says, I watched the playthrough with Ash, didn't even finish the first video, looked pretty roll repeat. It is a bit grindy, mate, I'll be honest. Some people like that kind of stuff. I found it wasn't for me. And I had played Silver Tower and I really enjoyed Silver Tower, so it's not like I was kind of like, well, what did you expect kind of thing. I loved the theme. I loved Silver Tower. I loved the fact it was kind of an improvement on improving some bits from Silver Tower, improving some bits from Blackstone Fortress. It sounded in my head like it was going to be great. And then unfortunately, it just turned out to not be what I was hoping for, really. People having a bit of a chat there. Marcus is saying at least the models are really amazing. They are really nice, mate, but to be honest, they've sat in a box ever since I had that first playthrough. I haven't even bothered painting them because I thought that there's no point if I end up selling it on. I'm sure somebody would rather have them unpainted, to be honest. Marcus is saying, I think the mention of no price changes due to the fact GW prices are going to rise in March. Yeah, potentially, mate, potentially. There might be an element of that as well. They tend not to talk about price, which is a little bit that set a few kind of alarm bells ringing for me. Frantic says, everyone who tries Curse City just skip the intro mission. It was very bad according to many people and gives a false impression. Where was that one? False impression of the game, they said, it's very repetitive, though same as Blackstone Forest. The problem is it's not an intro mission, mate. It is part of the way the game plays. Like, it might be the simplified form of it to kind of introduce you to the game, but it's something you need to do to progress the story. It's not a case of like, it's not like a trial mission to test the rules out and then you play the game. It's the first mission in the storyline, if you like. So you can't really miss it out. And unfortunately, that particular mission keeps coming back again and again through the story because of the way the game is structured. There's kind of like, I think it's either 3 or 4 different types of missions that you can do, and that type of mission is repetitive in it, and it comes back as part of the story. Phil says, I think sometimes GW are damned if they do and damned if they don't, although admittedly their communication should be better. Yeah, I agree, mate, as well. I think it's a combination of big company, lots of eyes, big audience, and then people, especially the fact that when Curse City went out of stock, there was radio silence. Always makes people think there's something a little bit like sinister going on in the background. It's like, well, why didn't they talk about it? Why didn't they just say, look, we're really sorry, it's sold out, all the supply issues like around the world with COVID and everything else that's going on and Brexit, we're struggling to get the stuff back in stock. We'll let you know when there's more news. Like, that would have been the way to kind of to communicate to your audience, communicate to your kind of like your fans and stuff. Instead, they just went silent and removed any mention of it from websites and all that kind of stuff. I think that's why people give them a bit of flack for this kind of stuff. Lobin said, I tried the game out solo and it felt okay. It's just okay. And like GW basically showed what happened to the big bad guy. And they did actually, they did kind of spoil it a bit, mate, as well, yes. Zingybo says, have you played Blackstone Fortress? And if so, how did it compare? I haven't played Blackstone Fortress, mate. Like I say, I have played Silver Tower, and I loved Silver Tower. I played Silver Tower a lot, and I really did enjoy that. Frantic says, the made to order, I think, is because of last year's debacle. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate, but it's the fact it's coming back for a made to order, and then it's being re-released. That's the bit I don't understand. Andrew says, it's made to order because it's coming from China, and I don't think they want to make any more stuff in China. I'm sure they probably don't want to once everything's kind of up and running in the Nottingham factory with the new facilities that they've been building. But I don't think they'll ever get away from using Chinese supply for some time. Peter says, honestly, being pulled more and more to new kill team with the one with the Chaos Marines. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are, mate. Andy says, made to order with thousands spare at a cost. Yeah. John says, I always buy stuff because I want to build and paint it, with gaming tends to be just a bonus. Yeah, if that's your hobby, mate, then absolutely. Colton says, yeah, I agree, it should be available. Yeah, that's it. Paul says, the FOMO for this one's pretty big. I need to decide between this and the new Kill Team box. The difference with this is, mate, is if you don't pick it up now, there's still going to be a chance that you'll be able to pick it up later on. You definitely will be able to pick it up later on because it's getting relaunched again later in the year. If you can kind of like get to try it or something like that, I'd absolutely recommend doing that first. John says, just like someday I vow to build and paint everything that is yet untouched. Dreadfleet box. Yeah, tell me about it, mate. I've got a Dreadfleet box as well. Good point. So when the expansions release, people will buy them. Yeah, I'm just catching up with the chat now a little bit. Tony Boovleiden, thank you very much, mate, for that donation. That is very, very kind of you. I'm sure something will pop up on the screen very soon if it hasn't already, but I've just seen it in the chat. So thank you very much, buddy. There it is. I've just heard the noise. Thank you, mate. Very kind of you. He said, Mondays wouldn't be the same without BlackJack Legacy. Thank you, mate. Wouldn't be the same without you either. Let's have a little look what else we got. Christian sharing the link there as well. If you are shopping at Goblin Gaming, one thing I would say is you can pre-order this from Goblin Gaming. They will have 20% off this. So instead of spending £125 on it, you will get £12.50 times 2, which is 25. So you get it for 100. See that maths there? Quick maths, as they say. Peter says, honestly, I like the game that is Dreadfleet. It's just fun beer and pretzel game. I agree, mate. I think it's all right as well, actually. I have played it, to be fair. Marcus is saying, I agree with the rumours caused by GW around Curse City, a little more Lovecraft mystery than Gothic horror. Yeah, and I think that's always the case. One thing I learned, like when I used to have my old job, when I worked in the toilet roll business, I ran 3 departments. So I ran product development, so I had a team of people who basically design new products and do all of the trials and kind of work with customers to do retail brand stuff. They do all of that. I then had a team who basically did competitor analysis. So they tested all the different products that were in the market and gathered all the data. And then we could kind of see what other people were doing and changing. And then I also had a team of basically customer service. And they would deal with any complaints. And the idea would be is that because I ran all those different 3 teams, I would see what people were complaining about. I could compare it to the test results in the market to see if that was kind of justified in what people were seeing. And then it would help me to inform me to help the team who were designing new stuff. And one of the things I learned from doing all of that is communication to customers is key. Like if something goes wrong, if somebody complains with a complaint, that gives you a second chance to give a good first impression, if you like. And if you can kind of deal with the complaint and give the customer a good feeling about like, oh well, I got let down here, but at least they've put it right, kind of thing, that goes a long way. And you can earn a lot of kind of credit from people by just putting things right. Mantic are a company who kind of do a good job of this. They've basically, like, if there's any mispacks, if there's any problems, people always talk about the customer service of putting things right. So that's kind of like that. I think there's somebody that does it quite well. GW, when it comes to stuff like this communication, it always seems to fall down a bit. It's as if somebody says, just ignore it, it'll go away. Just pretend it didn't happen. Don't talk about it, and people will forget. It's almost like the way politics works. It's almost like they bury their heads in the sand a little bit on this kind of stuff. And I always feel that, and I feel sorry for some of the Warhammer community folks, because I feel like they're not given the information to actually be able to go back to customers and go, oh, well, this is what's happening. I feel like they're kind of kept in the dark a little bit. So it's not always the folks who work for GW that are at fault here. It feels like it's a corporate decision to sometimes just keep stum a little bit. Where are we up to here? Ian says, I found a use for the game. I'm keeping my bed up. Andy says, when are we having a story? I think we'll do that in a few weeks, mate. We haven't had one for a little while. Vijay says, no, mate, no. Andy says, trial bug roll. Yes, trial bug roll, mate. It is very expensive to make trial toilet rolls. John says, evening all, just got in from the absolute whooping. Good game, though. John, we've showed your stuff, mate, and it was awesome. Thank you for coming in, mate. Barry says, I probably missed, is Blitzball now going to be available worldwide? It's still not been confirmed properly, mate. It's basically, it's like, is it Blitzball Legend or Blitzball Ultimate or something like that? I forget what it's called, but it's not been confirmed that it's going to be in the UK. But it's also not being confirmed that it's not, again, another one of those GW kind of communication things. Andy says, interview with Mantic Dude was ace. Well done. Thank you very much, mate. That Mantic Dude is Ronnie. He owns the company. He is the owner of Mantic. Andrew says, what's your job, Bill? I take our competitor's product and rub it on my butt. The one thing we never did, mate, was use it. That was not how we tested it. It was all much more scientific, breaking it down, understanding what the fibers were made of, strengths, softness, absorbency, all that kind of technical lab stuff. Barry says, I'd hate to hear the complaints with faulty toilet paper. You are right, mate. Some of those complaints still keep me awake at night now. Peter says, so you were in charge of a team that tested new bug roll. All right, I want everyone to get 2 curries tonight. Yeah, none of the testing was ever like that. Yes. Yeah, Vijay's saying, yeah, the language around it has indicated it may be, but nothing confirmed yet. Yeah, the fact that somebody had said to me that it said in the advert that it was going to be available in Germany and somewhere else, and then that part of the kind of the post was removed, as if to say either we've got it wrong or we don't want to talk about that yet. So it could be that no, it's not going to be available in the UK, but we don't want people to know about that yet, or yes, it is going to be available in the UK and we posted the wrong thing, so we took that information down. Who knows, mate? Who knows? Yeah, so I think what we'll do now is we'll go back and we'll have a look at some more of our, whoops, let me just shrink that down. Here we go. Right, so we'll go back. We'll go back to some more of the February stuff. Jonathan Wyborn we've got here. And there was no text on the email for this one. But, again, we've got some more of those GW... Are they called Nighthawks? Is that what they're called? I forget. I'm pretty sure that's what they are. But yeah, I must admit they look really nice, mate. I love the kind of the shading of the pale blue down to the darker blue. They look really, really nice, mate. And it looks like you've had your work cut out. There's quite a few on there that you've done, mate. So yes, again, thank you for taking part and thank you for completing the challenge. Kenneth Paulson. So Kenneth said, Kit Bash 2 models for Forbidden Psalm, taken from a Mork Borg expansion. I wrote a scenario for Forbidden Psalm based on that, a Mud Muster Cult model and the Algae Rots model. I also finished a Burrs and Badges Hedgehog Warrior. I really like these challenges. It gives me the push to work my way through a pile of unpainted models. And he's also painted another one as well for Forbidden Psalm. So these are the models that he shared with me. These are particularly nice, mate. Nice stuff. I'm not familiar with these models, to be fair. So feel free in the chat if you're around, Kenneth, just to give the guys a bit more information. I love what you've done with the basing and stuff. Really does ground it in a little bit of kind of, almost kind of gritty fantasy, if you like. Looking good, man. This is a funny looking dude. God knows what that is. But yeah, very strange looking fella. And then this looks, I'll be honest, this looks creepy as hell. Looks like he's got some kind of sack over his head, a rope hanging around his neck, an axe, a sword, a gun. He's not short of a weapon or two, is he? And then there's some kind of ghoul's head at his feet. You wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley, that's for sure. Shield on his back. What's that on the floor as well? Some kind of skull. Plenty going on with it, mate, that's for sure. And these are the Burrs and Badges ones as well. These are minis as well that are super characterful. Loads of stuff on them. So thank you again, mate. Congratulations for taking part and for completing it. Kevin Preston. Kevin says, some Lord of the Rings Gondor levy troops, conversions to represent militia raised from the border with Rohan. Give me an excuse to convert some Rohan troops. Very nice, man. So nice work on the shields there as well. Looks like a lot of freehand. I know how small them shields are as well. So yeah, even better. Very nice, mate. And as he said as well, a little bit of kind of conversion work going on there. Lovely work on the basing again, as I mentioned for a few others as well. I love that kind of just a few bits of tufts and stuff like that as well. But yeah, coming together. Very nice, mate. Again, well done. Congrats and thank you for taking part. A certain Mr. Christian Reeves, he said this model is a Tavros Cosalium Champion from Artisan Guild. Printed on an Elegoo Mars 3 at 0.03 layer height. And the base from the 100 base Kickstarter by Caspergard and was printed on Elegoo Neptune 2. So we've got a bit of 3D printing and a bit of painting going on here. And some very nice photographs as well, Christian, I have to say. Beautiful work, mate. That basing, chef's kiss, as they say. Very, very nice, mate. Love the miniature. Love the work. I'll be honest, I've seen this miniature printed out before. And some of the detail looked a bit soft, but it doesn't on yours. I assume it's to do with the quality of your print. But yeah, it looks really nice, mate. Love the detail as well. The shading around the chest here on the kind of the called runes or carvings, I forget what they're called. There's a lot of kind of motion in the miniature as well, with a kind of hammer behind him and then leaning forward. I like what you've done there, buddy. Really nice. But that base especially, it looks real, mate. Really, really do like that work. Fantastic work as always, mate. Love your stuff. Go back to that first one there as well. I think that just kind of sets it off, mate. Awesome, mate. Thank you very much, Christian. Love that. Luke Pryor sneaking in at the wire, setting one in late he was. These are Burrs and Badges, and again, super clean these, mate. I love your painting. Love the kind of the edge lining as well. It's something you don't see very often, but it really does set off these miniatures. Super clean paint job, mate. Love it. I haven't got the steady hand to do that kind of work. Some kind of little mole with his torch there as well. Love that, mate. That's such a nice miniature. Little eye just poking out one side of his hat there. Love that. That snake as well. I'm not sure, is he wrapped around there? I don't know what he's wrapped around. Is it a sword or something like that? Oh, it actually looks like some kind of like stake with it, like a talon type thing, isn't it? Nice, mate. Nice, beautiful work. Love that, Luke. Thanks again, mate, for submitting them. We've got Mandy Taylor, who's done this Mantic Giant. I think she said it took 14 hours to paint this. Love the fact she's got the background in there behind it as well. It really does kind of ground it in some kind of reality. And the grass, obviously, with the basin just really sets it off. But yeah, I do like those Mantic Giants, I'll be honest. Look really nice. Thank you, Mandy, if you're watching this. Marco. Hello, Marco, if you're around. These are the Moonstone miniatures. We've got Doug the Flatulent. I think he's called Beaky, I think you're the guy. And these are beautiful, mate. He said he's still got the basin left to do, but he wanted to kind of submit the pictures. I'm going to have to zoom in here on the eyes. Look at the eyes on that. Now, this is a tiny mini. I've got this mini, and I know how small it is. The detail on that is fantastic, mate. Love it. Love it. Nice choice of colours as well. The green really does contrast nice with the blue. And Beaky here, if you look inside his flasher coat there. Anybody who's about my age will remember that the advert. Have you got any leeches for these? You might remember that advert. That's what this always reminds me of. That'll go over a lot of people's heads, but anybody that remembers that advert, yes. So yeah, fantastic work. Love the lenses on that as well, mate. Beautiful work. And then we have the backs of them as well, on the side there. Lovely work on the feathers and that as well. Amazing work as always, Marco. Beautiful. Thank you for taking part. We've got Marcus Schneider here. Marcus says they've got the Sylvaneth Tree Revenant, Ilthari Guardian, and Night Haunt I can't pronounce these things. Mermon Banshee. So there you go. I am a big fan of these Sylvaneth models. I always quite fancied having a Sylvaneth army just because I quite liked them. But I kind of dropped out of AOS. But I might at some point get like a Sylvaneth Warcry force maybe. I do like the minis. But yeah, beautiful work, mate. Lovely kind of choice of mixture of greens and stuff, the greens and browns. Obviously, they're kind of earth-based, but it's nice to kind of see some like gradients, some difference in the choices of the colours as well. And here they are, kind of setting a nice background as well. It really is. Look, beautiful work, mate. Love those. Thank you very much again for taking part. Matthew Wilkinson. Matthew says this is his Ice Giant from D&D Encounters. It's going to be a Kings of War army soon. Thank you for all you do. You are welcome, mate. Thank you for taking part. So this is the one, I think, if I remember right, this is from Steamforged Games, the Epic Encounters D&D sets. And I've not seen one up close. I've only ever seen pictures, but I do like the giant model. Beautiful work on the eyes as well, mate. Not easy to paint that kind of thing. And I love the ice base with the snow and the kind of cracked ice underneath it. And the work on the frost stacks there is fantastic. Skin tones are lovely. You've just done a really, really good job, mate. I cannot wait to see if that's part of a Kings of War army. I can't wait to see how that fits in with the rest of the range. So yeah, thank you for submitting that, mate. Appreciate that. And then Ortega, hello in the rerun, mate. He said, miniatures are from Moonstone, Skyrim, and Relic Braid. And these are awesome. I've never seen this miniature before. Love the character on that, mate. Skeleton looks fantastic as well. Love that. Very kind of old school looking miniature, that one. And God knows what this is. There's a bit of Bebop and Rocksteady in that as well, I think, isn't there? A bit of a Turtles inspired. Very nice, mate. And then we've got the backs of those models as well. Love the kind of like leather work, kind of like leather colouring you've got on here, mate, as well. And the basing on these, very nice. There's a bit of a close-up as well. Nice work, buddy. Nice work. And that takes us up to batch 4. So we'll pop back and have a look in the chat, see what folks are saying about those. I'm sure there'll have been some nice comments there. I'm just going back and seeing if anybody's tagged me in anything I need to read back. John saying his dad grew up on the prairies in the 30s and 40s, and they used the Canadian Tire catalogue or the Eaton's catalogue. I wonder what that was about. Jez is saying, yeah, Forbidden Psalm looks excellent. It does look good, mate. Yes. Samir saying, loving the Lord of the Rings models. Nice conversion work. I know what you said, mate. Don't worry. And saying the basin looks amazing. Christian says, thank you. You are welcome, mate. John says, the Minotaur is amazing. Yeah. Puns aside, everything else is awesome. Yeah. Samir saying, yeah, gorgeous mini. Luke. John saying, I like putting a little extra effort into my bases the last 5 or 6 years. Somebody once told me the things you should concentrate on a miniature are faces, bases, and banners. So if there's any flags flying from it, big cloaks coming off it, that kind of stuff, spend a little bit more time on the base, a little bit more time on the face, and a little bit more time on the banners, and everything else you can cut corners on, but the eye isn't drawn to them. So yes, I'm a big fan of basing, if I'm honest. Lord Main saying the rare mole digger, yes, and Jez is saying Brothers and Badges minis are lovely. BG saying so much great painting this month. Well done, everyone. There's some beautiful stuff. What I love about these challenges are there's such a range of miniatures that come in. They're from all different manufacturers, all different game types, all different board games, different like miniature kind of like manufacturers. It's not just all GW or all Mantic or all I don't know, all War Cradle, anything like that. There's such a mix of different stuff. It's fantastic. And John saying some seriously talented hobbyists. There is, mate, yeah. Luxus was really pleased with them. Brothers and Batters Mini is such great sculpts. They almost paint themselves. You've done a fantastic job of them, mate. Paul saying the Giant's super impressive, yeah. VG saying good, the non-metallic metalwork on the Goblin, on the Pug. Yeah, he knows what he's doing, doesn't he? Yeah, Samir says, I wish I could paint eyes like that. Yeah, I do well enough just to get the dots so they don't look like they're kind of like looking all over the place. Luke says, I'm really going to be torn when it comes to the next game investment because I'll be between Carnivale and Moonstone. Moonstone gives me that Brothers and Badges feel for sheer charm. I agree, mate. It's definitely got some kind of like just nice character kind of feel about it. Amazing Giant, yeah. Matthew says the eyes are difficult because of the helmet. Yes, I can imagine, mate. That's exactly what I meant when I said about good work on the eyes. And Matthew saying, yeah, some good stuff today. There definitely is, mate, isn't there? There's some good stuff. Nice one. Right, well, I think what we'll do is we might as well go into the fourth lot there now as well. So we'll go back to here. Let me just shut them down. And we're starting with Mr. Paul Inman. And Paul says, all these models are part of an ongoing project to recreate the world of Symbaroum, an RPG setting. They will be used in both RPG settings and also form the basis of some Saga Age of Magic warbands in the future. Large part of the project was painted in January, mostly rank and file troops. This represents, for the most part, the leaders and characters from the various human factions. It says the setting doesn't have any miniatures of its own, but it does have a very strong medieval theme, and he opted to use historical miniatures for the basis of the main human factions and have them added miniatures from various fantasy ranges to augment them. Notably, No Star, Frostgrave, and Games Workshop Middle Earth range, as the scales are broadly similar. He split them into 3 groups here. The Queen's Retinue, including her champion and 2 wizards, and the Church, which includes priests, Templars, and Inquisitions. And the final group is just other things we might encounter during the game. And these were painted in the first 3 weeks of February. So, some beautiful paint jobs on these, mate. Really, and I like the way you've kind of grouped them together as well. There's something about like just sort of like setting them together like that as well. It just gives us a little bit of flavour, and we can see here. So these are the followers of Prius, the Sun God. We've got the Cardinal, the Abbess, the Templar Master, and the Black Cloak Inquisitor. And there's some very, very nice work on them, mate. Good choice of colours. Love the red and kind of the mustard colour, if you like. Just tying it all together as well. Looks brilliant, mate. Thank you for submitting those. These ones are the Queen's Retinue, as we said here. Not sure which particular characters these ones are, as it doesn't say. But the white on that cloak especially, I think is fantastic. The blue on the orb looks lovely. I love that purple. I don't paint enough stuff purple. I really like that. And I love what we've got here with the white of the shield and the white of the cloak with the little purple flowers in the background as well. Really pulls that together. And then we've also got this the Dark Denzians. So the Abor, the Spider Brood, and the Necromage. Very much kind of some kind of like Lich King type thing there as well. Looks really, really nice. Love the basing on this as well. So thank you very much, Paul, sorry. Thank you for submitting them, mate. They are awesome. We've got Paul Taylor. Paul says, the Merman Banshees for the Fantasy Challenge. Sorry for the slightly blurry photos. Don't worry about it, mate. There's nothing wrong with them, and they look awesome. When I saw these today, when I was pulling all the emails together, the colour on these really stood out, mate. I love that blend from orange to yellow. I don't know how you've done it, whether it's airbrush or contrast paints or just like sort of just sheer hard work of blending, whatever it was. But I think you've done a fantastic job of it, mate. Don't worry about blurry photos when they look this good. Love the kind of the base work, all that kind of cracked earth, kind of almost like lava type stuff coming through as well. But yeah, beautiful work, mate. Absolutely love them. Love the transition work from between them colours. Again, as I said before as well, love that basing. No idea how you did it, mate, but looks super good. Fantastic work, mate. And even just the blood on the hands and stuff like that, and across the jawbone there as well. I'm sure you don't mind me saying, but it's a kind of like a simple but really effective sort of like paint color choice, if you like, that you've gone with. Fantastic work, Paul. Thank you very much. Peter Kuhlman, we got, he says this is the model for his fantasy painting challenge, the 4-armed gargoyle from D&D Adventure System. And this is lovely, mate. I love the simplicity of this in the fact that it's kind of like, it looks kind of stone-like, and I love the little patches of kind of moss and stuff growing on it as well. It looks fun, but really nice work. Again, sort of, sometimes keeping it simple can really be effective, and I just love what you've done, mate. Nice work, buddy. Nice work. Thank you so much for taking part and for submitting it as well. Phil Campbell. This is Hero Quest, the Barbarian. Love the skin work on this, mate. The skin tone is really good. The shading around the muscle definition, the base. I love that kind of like sort of stone sort of tile look about it. I'm assuming this must be from the new version. It looks a much sharper sculpt than I remember the old ones being. So I'm assuming this is from the new version of Hero Quest. So it's nice to see one of the new miniatures. But yeah, beautiful work, mate. Really well done. So thank you very much, Phil. Samir, we've seen his son's work. Let's see if their dad is as good as his son. He said he's still learning the photography side of things, so he went for a few shots, 6 in total. Feel free to use whichever ones work best for you. They all work best, mate. Thank you for submitting them. For this month's fantasy challenge, he painted up Steel Hearts Champions from Shadespire. I used more of a Hallowed Knight scheme. This was the first time I put this much effort into the bases of miniatures. I tried to give them mossy effect using nothing but paint but no basing materials. Used several layers of, some of it was sponged onto the stonework. The leaves have several layers painted on. I skipped Steel Heart's eyes. I could never figure out. Might be a goal for a future challenge. Thanks so much for the motivation and push to painting another level. Try some new techniques. You are welcome, mate. I've seen these, so I know they're awesome. I love what you've done with the bases, mate. It's nice when you kind of set yourself a little, I'm going to do something a bit different. And like you said, I'm going to try and do these without using basing materials, just like trying to like up kind of skill levels a little bit. And as a cohesive kind of like sort of warband together, they look fantastic, mate. Really nice. Really nice clean lines. You can see the work here around the kind of shoulder pads and stuff. Look lovely. And see where you've been layering up on the bottom. This kind of looks, this moss work on here, it does look very good. You definitely nailed what you were trying to achieve. This shows me as well, when you're panicking about painting eyes and things, you don't always have to paint eyes. Like, don't kind of kill yourself doing it. Like, as long as you shade like the skin tones right, you can get away with not doing eyes. Like, if you look at, like, normally eyes can be like almost like in shadow a lot of the time, and they're never as kind of like white and piercing as people think they are when they're painting them. So yeah, don't worry about it, mate. It looks fantastic. Really good work, mate. You can see where you've been, like, even if I kind of zoom in a little bit here, and I know when you zoom in, you'll be going, no, don't zoom in, but like you can see the layers. There's at least three or four different colors used on each one of these leaves, mate. And I love this. This like looks wet around here as well. So yeah, brilliant work, mate. Love those. Really like what you've done. Nice, clean, fantastic work, mate. You should be rightly proud of them. So, and I'm glad you enjoyed painting them too. And thanks for taking part. Mr. Smolders, Steve Smolders here. He's got his fantasy-based minis from Moonstone. A few Moonstone minis making it into this challenge. For the February challenge, Brunhild the Giant and Bristlenose the Troll. And I love the colour choice here on these. Really, that kind of, it's very like aquamarine blues and greens and stuff. Love them, mate. Really nice. don't know what that is on the shoulder. I might see it better from a different angle maybe. Is it like some kind of like block and tackle? Is that what it is? I think it could be. I'm not really sure. But yeah, lovely work, mate. Love the work around the kind of the ropes and stuff and the bits of spikes and things, or sort of fins and things. Really nice. And again, we're talking about like character in minis and stuff. You can almost hear her singing the way she's kind of like, oh, like coming out there. Brilliant work. Love the skin tones as well, mate. Nice kind of sort of shading on that skin without going over the top. Yeah, lovely work, mate. Well done, Steve. Thanks very much for taking part again. Thomas Penn. So Thomas says, not true high fantasy, but it's a skeleton of sci-fi figures from the Crooked Dice Kickstarter. It even has ogres as dot workers. Skeletons and ogres, mate, that's fantasy as far as I'm concerned, mate. You've convinced me. Yeah, really nice work, mate. I'm not familiar with these miniatures, so I don't know much about them. But yeah, there's some nice stuff in here, mate. Really nice. There's a lot of character in these little robot things as well. Nice, mate. Love these kind of sci-fi minis as well. We'll see a science fantasy out. We'll say that's all right. But yeah, nice, mate. Some lovely characters in them as well. Like where you're just trying to pull the bases together as well. Kind of what's it called? Like sort of block work and stuff like that. Nice stuff. Yeah, as I say, I'm not familiar with these minis, but there's some loads of character in them. Nice choice of the colours as well. Purple looks nice, mate. I love the colour. Bold colour choices are something people don't often do. And these look great, mate. They really fit the miniatures. So yes, nice work, man. Thank you very much, Thomas. Mr. Boovleiden sneaking in under the radar there at the end. He did tell me what this was, and I can't remember where it is now. If he's in the chat still, he'll tell us. But yeah, I love that, mate. Awesome work. I'm trying to remember what these are. These are GW stuff, aren't they? Is that a GW Orcs? Is that what that is? I think it is. I could be completely wrong, mate. I'm not familiar with the mini, but I do like it, mate. Nice work. Love the skin tone colour. This bluey grey. Love the kind of like the shading in the cracks. The red on the chest plates, if you like, on the stomach plates. Really come across as well. Love them, mate. Beautiful work, and thank you for submitting it. Tony Howell. This is a Curse City mini, if anybody was thinking, talking about it before. This is a mini from Curse City. Lovely work, mate. As always, Tony. Beautiful colour choices as well with the blues. Most people would have went like kind of greys and browns and stuff. Lovely to go with that blue, mate. Love the work you've done on the skin tones as well. The skin really is nice. And I love the way it's kind of that dark, almost like kind of animalistic kind of like legs as well, coming off into the lighter skin tones with the red around the eyes as well, mate. Beautiful work as always, Mr. Howell. Thank you very much. Last two now. We've got Valery Laziev, who says this is his contribution for this month's painting challenge, continuing with his Forces of the Abyss Army of the Kings of War. This time it's 4 hero models. The front two are the Ifrits, and then the back and to the left is Abyssal Champion, stand on a large column. To the right is Gargoyle Basusu the Vile. These challenges are great motivation for me. I have many miniatures from different games that are waiting to get painted. Looking forward to next month's challenge. Well, thank you, Valerie. And yeah, the couple of Ifrits there. Love the flame work, if you like, mate. The kind of flame transitions. Very, very nice. Nice definition of the skin there as well. Love the little bit of kind of blood dripping down the column there as well. Very nice. And then even having this kind of like this 5-pointed star thing as well. And again, the flame work there, mate. Love it. And I like the idea that you've put it up on a pedestal there as well. Just kind of like, you know, he's the champion, he's the warrior type thing. He gets a little bit of height in the game as well. So yeah, nice one. And our last one here, purely by alphabetical order, is VJ. And these are his Armada. And these are his Pirates, which I absolutely love, mate. Nice. I love I know you weren't a fan of having those kind of sculpted on symbols on the sails and stuff like that. So I love what you've done to kind of like to almost like graffiti it, if you like. Lovely choice of colours, mate. The light sails there as well with the like the warpstone green there. Really does set it off. Beautiful work, mate. Look absolutely great. Love those. And there we have the orcs as well. And I don't think I've seen any orcs with green sails, but it looks fantastic, I'll be honest. It really does look nice. I did mine yellow, and I'm thinking about repainting them now after seeing yours. They look great, mate. Love this work. Nice work here. It almost looks like it's kind of like flames around like what would be the eyes there on that ship. Nice kind of scratches and stuff into the metallic works, and some nice shading as well around those sails, mate. So thank you very much, VJ. You were the last one in our entries tonight. So thank you very much, every single one of you who've took part. If you didn't take part in the February challenge, you can take part in the March challenge. I'll tell you what that is in the next few minutes. Tony saying that was an Orc War Boss or War Boys on Troggoth from the Cruel Boys in AOS. Thank you, mate. I've not seen that miniature, but yeah, it does look awesome. Samir saying many thanks. You are very welcome, buddy. Paul says, airbrush, definitely can't wet blend. Thanks for a positive comment. It looks awesome, mate. You did a great job with that transition work. Dancing, yeah, love the vibrancy on them. They look great, mate, didn't they? Yeah, and everybody kind of rightly giving everybody a little bit of kind of pat on the back and stuff. VJ saying 100% eyes should be optional and definitely darker than most bad examples. I agree, mate. Sometimes I think you're sometimes better off not doing them than doing them badly, to be fair. And where are we up to? I'm just Christian saying the troll is so good. Christian's saying that as well. Samir, very well, nice one. Everyone kind of saying, Tony, tell me what it was. And Samir saying, great job, everyone. These challenge projects are so inspiring. So, who wants to know what the March challenge is going to be? Let me just get my diary out so I can give you the dates, because I forgot to write the dates down. Because the March challenge, tomorrow is the 1st of March. So the March challenge starts tomorrow. And I think I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have 4 weeks for this one. So the challenge starts tomorrow, 1st of March. The last day for submissions is Sunday, the 27th of March. And that means on Monday, the 28th of March, we'll go through all of the March challenge minis. And we'll show them off on the stream. So that gives you 4 full weeks of painting for this one. John says, I need to photograph some of my stuff next time. Yes, please do, mate. Everyone's saying, me. Yes. And VJ saying, yeah, I had lots of fun with the pirates, even stuck in a sneaky Skaven icon. I love them, mate. I love what you did with those. So yes, 4 weeks to paint this one. And this one is going to be Monstrous March. Now, what does he mean by monstrous? This is what I mean about it's very specific, but it's very wide. So, I want you to paint monsters. I want you to paint. They don't have to be big things. You can choose to buy to paint big minis. So if you've got like a dragon, or you've got like a troll, or you've got some kind of beast, any kind of monstrous type sort of creature, if you like. That's what I want you to paint. It can be a normal 28mm kind of miniature. It can be something in your kind of. It can be a vampire, like from Cursed City, for example. It can be something like one character in a warband, but some kind of like ogre or kind of something like that. It can be monstrous in size. So if you're not painting anything that you think, well, it's not a monster. If you've got something that is bigger than the other stuff that you're painting, it can be monstrous in size. It can be a bit creepy. So if you're painting something from, let's say, from Weird Miniatures, from Malifaux, there's plenty of stuff in there that looks a little bit kind of like creepy and a bit kind of things that go bump in the night. So it is monstrous. VJ says, I think lizard men count as monstrous. I'll give you that one, mate. Absolutely. Luke saying, I see some Rumble Slam big boys coming up. There you go, mate. Jess says, monstrous monsters, my favourite kind. Zingbo says, after February's dragon, I think I'm actually all monstered out for the time being. You can paint something small, mate. Like I say, it can be, like if you're painting a sci-fi thing, it might be just kind of, it might be the bad guys from a sci-fi game. If you're painting fantasy stuff, it might be one of the bad guys. It might be actually like be a monster. It may be classed as a monster. If you're painting Kings of War, it might be a miniature that's classed as a monster. So yeah. Just kind of let your imagination go wild in much the same way as the February challenge. If you can convince me it classifies as a monster, it classifies as a monster. I'm just trying to give you a bit of a nudge just to keep getting the paintbrushes out and do a little bit. So, like I say, specific but very wide. So yeah, it can be monstrous in size, or it can be monstrous in, and maybe it's got a bit of a weird background story about it. let me know what it is. But yeah, so that is March. So Monstrous March, that's what we'll be doing. I will put a note in the Facebook group tomorrow about this, and I'll put a little note on the I'll put one in the Patreon chat as well, and I'll also put one on the YouTube community tab as well, and I'll put one on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully everybody sees it. But yeah, you'll get the heads up. You get the chance to hear it live. You get an extra few hours to think about what you're going to do. But yes, it starts tomorrow, and you have until Sunday, the 27th of March, to email it to me at blackjacklegacy@gmail.com, the same way we do every other month. And then on the Monday, the 28th, we'll be showing them all off. So yeah, that's that one. Luke says, so this is not the same as January. Bigger is better. It's similar but more specific. Yeah, the one in January was just, it had to be on a bigger base, mate. It was about trying to get like a bigger miniature, if you like, or something with a bigger base. This one is a monster. If you know, like if you want to paint like a vampire, you want to paint a zombie, you want to paint like a skeleton or something like that, it doesn't have to be a big miniature. Just something like if you think it fits into the kind of monster category, there you can do that. But if you're not, like, if for example, if you're in the middle of painting your Warhammer 40,000 army, or you're painting yourself up an army for Firefight, for example, for Mantic or something like that, which comes out next month, you might say, well, I'm going to paint a bigger model from that army, and it'll fall under the category as in it's a monstrous in size, if you like. So it just gives you a little bit more flexibility in what you can do, mate. That's all. Paul says, I guess I have to buy a new mini for this. Really shame. Paul, tell me what you're painting, mate. What's on your table? What are you planning to do? And we'll find something that works. I don't want you to have to go out and buy new stuff if you've already got stuff that you can paint, mate. Just tell me what kind of stuff you're painting, and we'll make something. We'll make it fit the challenge, buddy. Don't worry about that. Christian says he has to decide what to paint from or what to print from his collection. Lord Maiden saying his mini swap fits as a monster. Perfect, mate. That's what I want. John saying, I don't think I have any monsters. An alarming realization. Yeah, honestly, mate. Like, for example, somebody just saying there about maybe Dead Zone, nameless ones. If you're painting like any Dead Zone stuff, like the kind of the Veerman, you know, like the Veerman model with the big claws and stuff like that, that'll work as a monstrous creature type thing. So just think outside the box a little bit. Don't kind of sort of contain yourself and think, oh, it has to be a monster. It's just like monstrous, as in it can be monstrous attitude, monstrous size. It can be sort of a monster in itself as well. Samir saying, oh, nice, this will be awesome. Good luck with the March challenge, everyone. Yes, good luck, folks. Peter says, I got the big one. What's it called? The Goliath. John says, I still think I have a great unclean one. That one will do his job as well. Vijay saying, yeah. One of these mini swaps is what will fit it. Perfect. Rob says, how about Scarecrow from Batman? Absolutely, mate. That'll fit as well. I've got no qualms with including that. Samir says, can January's unfinished dragon count for March? Absolutely, mate. If it means you can get something finished and it's something you want to work on, it absolutely counts, mate. Don't worry about that. You do that. Paul says, no, happy for an excuse to find something new. In that case, mate, you knock yourself out. Jess says, Scooby-Doo proved all the worst monsters were just blokes. There you go, mate. If you can put a bag over its head and then take the bag off and go, aha, it was the old man from down the road, I'll class that as a monster, mate. I want to say that. Blair Smith says, something from Plague Bearers from Dead Zone. Absolutely, that fits. Tizzy Brain Drain saying, sorry, my boss just called me. What's the March challenge? It's Monstrous March, mate. I'll put all the details out tomorrow so you won't miss it. Blizzard saying, you could always paint a Pokemon. They are pocket monsters. There you go. I'm happy with that, mate. That works as well. Christian says, Hulk from Marvel. Hulk works for me as well, mate. Hulk is monstrous, isn't he? He's huge compared to the rest of the characters. It works for me. So yes, anything will fit that. Anything will fit that, mate. So yeah, that's what it'll be. But I'll put all the details about dates and all that kind of stuff, email address. We'll put it in all the posts tomorrow and we'll get that out. So as we kind of come up towards the end of the stream now, a couple of kind of things just to wrap up. Don't forget, if you want to kind of support the channel, you can do that either through shopping at my Amazon affiliate links. You can do it through shopping through Goblin Gaming through my affiliate link. You can buy the t-shirts, the merch. You can join the Patreon as well. That all kind of helps, kind of sort of keeps me being able to do this full time, and kind of makes it that where I don't have to go out and get a real job, if you like. I can keep doing this. Tasty Brain Drain saying, so can orcs from Conquest count? I'll count me. I'm happy with that, mate. Samir saying, I hear there's a box called Curse City full of monsters. There absolutely is, mate, yeah. Next Monday, there'll be no live stream next Monday. I'm going away this weekend for a few days. So I'm going away on Thursday. I get back kind of like late on Monday. So I won't be around to do Monday night's live stream. I'll try and do some other stuff later in the week. We might try and do some kind of hangout or something like that. I'll try and make up for it. But there is no live stream next Monday. So I'm kind of giving you a week's notice. It'll be back as normal the week after. I'm just not kind of, I'm not here to get it all done. I'm having a weekend away. So yes. Marcus is saying, so basically not human, no basic animal. That's really easy. Yeah, pretty much, mate. That would kind of sum it up. Samir says, great stream, Andy. Have an amazing week, everyone. Thank you, Samir. You too. Take care. And also say thank you to your son as well. Really nice to see him getting involved in the painting challenge. Johnson, yeah, thanks for the stream and the chat. Always good for hobby inspiration and fantastic work by all who submitted. I agree, mate. So if I paint an old man and call him Old Man Jenkins, that can count. If you paint Old Man Jenkins and send me 2 pictures, one with a bag on his head and one when you take the bag off, I'll include it as unmasking the monster. I'll be all right with that. Christian says, thanks, great work on the February challenge, everyone. Have a good night. Samir saying, enjoy the time off. In lieu of next week's stream, work on your March challenge. I would, but I'm not here, so there you go. VJ says, what do I do with my Tuesday morning now? You can always go back and watch one of the old streams, mate, I promise. Matthew saying, congrats everyone. Wayne saying, thanks, Andy, you are welcome. And Phil says, cheers for the stream, Andy. Well done to all who entered, and take care, folks. So I think what we'll do is we will wrap that up now, because I've got nothing left to drink. My throat's getting dry and I'm bloody tired. So if you're in the Patreon, I will see you in the Discord chat. If you're in the Facebook group, please kind of hang out and sort of share what you're up to in the next week and stuff. And I will see you all in a week's time, in 2 weeks' time, when I get back from my little jollies. So take care, folks, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And if you did, why not consider clicking on the suggested video below to see more of the work that I've done. If you'd like to support the long-term sustainability of this channel, why not consider checking out my Patreon, where you can pledge and support from as little as $2 a month. And there is lots of different tiers and bonuses, which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you free t-shirts, free mugs, a podcast every month, and a number of other things, including getting your name at the end of every video, like these awesome folks who already support me now.